Welcome back. Sea Service leaders at the West Conference in San Diego recently tell me they want to collaborate with industry to drive success in artificial intelligence. One industry leader calls what agencies should seek radical collaboration. Gaurav Pal is CEO and founder of stackArmor. Teresa Carlson is advisor and investor at General Catalyst. Friends, welcome. It's great to see both of you. GP, that term radical collaboration, what does that mean to you, and what do you think that should mean to somebody inside a federal agency?
Francis, thanks for having me. I've had the privilege of working, with my co-speaker here, Teresa, for a long time in transforming agencies through cloud. And really what helped move the needle and help these transformations start is this dramatic collaboration between the CISO, the CIO, and the programs all working together to take advantage of the same technology. And we see the same with AI. And so this technology has a potential to do so much of good, but there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty. And so what we think we can do, industry working together with government, and bringing these amazing companies to go in and get them deployed in mission critical systems and deploy them in production so that we can take the advantage of these technologies. But it will require us to all work together, and we don't have a lot of time to do it. And so that's what radical collaboration is about, breaking down those walls, breaking down those barriers, and having people work together to be able to deploy this wonderful solution.
Teresa, GP talks about speed, and we talked about that a little bit before we went on the air. Why is time of the essence here, as Eric Heisen talked about on the program just a moment ago, and as you and GP are talking about too?
Well, first of all, you can't fight gravity, and this is gravity. And these artificial intelligence applications are moving very quickly. In my experience with cloud, you don't want to wait 10 years. You want to get in there and move really quickly. You're going to have some agencies that are innovative. They're going to move. They're your early chasm, cross the chasm agencies. And then you're going to have a lot, though, that are going to wait and see what they have in terms of process and a model. And they're going to be looking for what that ATO is about. And like GP says, you cannot just get it in test and dev. You got to have these systems in the mission and ready to go. And by that radical collaboration, we believe at General Catalyst, agree with everything GP says, we see it also in terms of bringing in new talent, new types of companies into government, making sure we get government access to all those early AI capabilities so they can use it for the mission. And heaven knows we really need to do that today, probably more than ever.
That idea of an AI ATO, the ATO concept has really driven cloud. It's really driven cybersecurity. What would that look like in an AI environment, Teresa?
Well, in an AI environment, you still have to have your mechanisms and process. You have to have your controls. And I think one of the things that we just saw happen with NIST, they've come out with a framework, and it's really important. I'll go back just a minute to go forward, but I've talked about, I remember when Karen Evans did the ATO framework for the Federal Desktop Core Configuration. That was an early time. And that really worked. NIST actually put up a framework. Agencies and vendors could go and pull it down. Move forward to cloud, we had to create a new framework for FedRAMP, and we did that very nicely with both the agencies and GSA, but it took a little while to actually get that into law. Now, you saw adoption, but what they really needed was prescriptive processes for all those controls. And I think, GP, you can probably say better than I do because you do it every day with all of these vendors.
What does that look like from the vendor perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing that I really give a lot of credit to Teresa for being that visionary is she launched a program called ATO on AWS, and the whole idea behind it was to very, very quickly allow these organizations to get into production. So we provided them a secure sandbox, we provided them with all the security controls necessary and the documentation. And really, the ATO for AI is exactly that same construct of ATO acceleration without reinventing the wheel. And so we believe by using and applying these controls that are specific to AI systems, we already have the necessary government frameworks in place with NIST AI RMF, the new NIST AI Safety Institute Consortium, which we are privileged to be part of. And so I think we see these different pieces come together, and by basically providing this framework to get these systems into production, we can dramatically go in and help our government partners modernize.
We have less than a minute left. If I'm Eric Heisen or somebody like him at an agency, why do I want that? What will that do for me soon that not having it would prevent me from doing it?
I think that's a great question. So, we read an interesting statistic. There are 2,200 companies funded by DoD and federal agencies that have ready-to-go production systems, and I think we can do a lot of good for protecting our country, both here and internationally. And if we go in and take a lot of time to deploy this goodness, as I would call it, we would do ourselves a disservice. So if Eric and his mission would like to have this new capability very quickly go in and help make our nation more secure, I think this ATO for AI capability gives them the tools to be able to do so.
GP and Teresa, thanks very much for joining me. It's great to have you on the program.
Thank you, Francis, for having me.